Hi guys, it's Marissa, and today I'm going to share with you my story. For a long time, I've always wanted to share my story, and today it's kind of important because I am sharing my health journey. And I apologize in advance if I get a little emotional because sometimes it makes me emotional. And I just wanted to say this too. I'm not doing this because I want people to feel sorry for me or because I want attention. I'm doing this because I want people to better understand what I go through every day. So, let's get started. Alright, so as many of you probably know that I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder and cough variant asthma. It started about when I was 16 years old. I had gotten really sick, and at the time, I didn't think much of it. I just thought it was a cold or a flu. So I went to the doctor, and they diagnosed me with a rare autoimmune disorder. What that means is that the cells in my body, they attack themselves. I get sick easy, I get infections easy, and there's good days and bad days. And all of this was happening while I was still in school. I still graduate though, so that's good. But it became an invisible illness that I had to deal with when I was younger, and I still deal with it now. There's no cure for it, but I want people to better understand what I go through every day. Just because I have an invisible illness doesn't mean that you don't see what I go through every day. You don't see the struggles, the things that I have to deal with every single day, that it affects my everyday life and things that I love to do, or there's things I can do, cannot do. And it's frustrating because people don't understand. They look at me, they see on the outside that I'm okay, but they don't see the invisible illness. And so it gets really frustrating sometimes. Then, as I got older, in my early 20s, I was diagnosed with cough variant asthma. I have trouble breathing, sometimes I can't breathe, and then I had 18 surgeries. So, in my 20s, while I was dealing with this, I was still in and out of the hospital, and I had so many emotions running through my mind. I was so mad, angry, frustrated, crying. And I thought, you know what? Why not just write all these emotions down? Why not write how I'm feeling? And that's how I wrote my very first song, Battle Scars. Battle Scars is about my health journey from the time that I was 16 years old until now. And after I wrote Battle Scars, I never really stopped writing. And that's when I started to listen to country music in my early 20s. And I liked country music because of the storytelling. And I thought, okay, you know what? I can do this. I can share my story. I can tell my story through music. I can say what I need to say, what people don't always hear. I can share my voice. And that's what I did. And I never really stopped writing after that. And then I still wrote songs. I wrote Dear Mom, Faith, Love, and Strength, Kenny Chesney on the Radio, Blue Eyes, and so much more songs. And I knew that I wanted to be a singer. I love to sing. I sing since I was 5, but that's not the only thing though. I love other things too. I love my dogs, love making crafts, all that. So in 2016, we moved to Tucson, Arizona. And, I have been doing so much better. I've been able to manage my symptoms. I've been able to do some acting. And it's just been a really tough challenge to having to live with a chronic illness and invisible illness that people don't always see. It's really hard. There are difficult times. I'm not gonna lie that I don't struggle. I do struggle because it's hard. It is hard. You don't you don't see the things that I have to go through every day, and I just I don't like that people don't understand that. Think, oh, she's not really sick, but that's not the case. I don't I don't expect you to understand, but because you don't have the same thing I do, you don't have the illness that affects your everyday life. But you know, I have my family, my dogs, my faith, and my music, and I want to be a country singer. And this illness does not define me. It's just part of my story. There's more to my story. There's more than just my illness. And so I just want people to understand it better. I want to educate people better because people don't always understand. And I know it's hard. You may not understand, but this is who I am. This is part of me. This is not going to go away. This is always going to be part of me. This is always going to be my everyday life, what I go through every single day. Some days I have good days, some days I have bad days. I never know what day I'm going to have. It just depends. But, and then I wrote a song called Still Becoming. It's about my health issues that I'm still me. Even though I have this, it does not define me. I'm still me. I'm still dreaming. I'm still doing things that I'm able to do. I can still sing. I can still do acting, go places, spend time with my dogs. So yeah, this is who I am. And I just want you to know that, and I want you to understand it better. But yeah, this is only part of who I am. And I hope that someday people will understand, that they will always just assume that I'm not sick or nothing, that they will have a better education on invisible illnesses, because a lot of people have invisible illness and they don't always see it. So this is for all the people who have an invisible illness, who need to share their voice, to share their story, that they need to stand together and help educate people to better understand what we go through, what our everyday life is, what how this affects our everyday life. So yeah, this is me. I'm still me.